is actually about Obama. We haven't spoken on Obama, really? Honestly, I don't think we've spoken on Obama on this entire channel, people. So that's very interesting, and this has to do with the 2.1 trillion in spending cuts that he had to end the 2011 debt ceiling crisis, which now you guys know we're dealing with the debt ceiling crisis again, but as opposed to cutting money like it seems like Obama was doing, Biden essentially needs us to put more money in. He needs us to raise that so we can pay our bills, so our government workers can be paid and everything like that. So let's see what they have to say about Obama's role. You know what I'm saying? When he was a president and everything like that, I was very young. I was younger. You know what I'm saying? When Obama was in office. So I don't know too much about his policies and everything like that. Am I a big Obama fan? Not really. No, not at all. I would more so look at it as a negative than a positive. But hey, it is what it is. And if he was definitely trying to go out here and make budget cuts, which we all need, and was able to successfully do that, then I think that's definitely a benefit as we see all the problems that Joe Biden and his administration is dealing with right now. So let's get into it. Now it says the nation is days away from defaulting on its obligations. The Republican House Speaker, pushed by conservatives and his party, demands deep spending cuts. The president, a Democrat, works on negotiating a package to avert fiscal calamity. No, it's not 2023. It's 2011, people, when then President Barack Obama agreed to a debt ceiling deal with the then House Speaker, John Boehner, that is called for more than $900 billion in upfront spending cuts and deficit reduction, as well as the creation of a joint congressional committee that will find at least $1.2 trillion in additional belt tightening. So I wonder what his justification for this was. If you're going to, if you're going to bring down the debt ceiling, obviously there's going to be a lot of money that can't go into a lot of places that it was. So first thing I'm thinking is, so who got cut? For there to be, that means there's budget cuts, just like at a company. If there's budget cuts, maybe the water machine that you go to won't be as nice. Maybe the hotels that you guys have for, traveling won't be as nice. Same general concept with the country, so I'm wondering what was in the plan to be cut, Now it says the situation is similar to the one President Joe Biden, who served as Obama's vice president, is facing today. He and House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, a Republican, are pushing their parties to swiftly approve their agreement to address current debt limit drama before the U.S. could start missing payments on June 5th, which, as you guys know, is coming up. May, June, July, guys. So literally coming up in the next few days. Oh, wow. You got something to say to the people? He's over there. He's having a good time. We're having a good time over here. Now it says today's House Republicans may want to look back at the results of their predecessor's hard-fought deal. Things didn't proceed as planned, okay? And a chunk of the reductions was ultimately pared back through a subsequent series of bipartisan bills. Once Congress took a look at the programs and what was required, they realized they couldn't make cuts that deep, which, like I was thinking, it's difficult. I mean, obviously, maintaining the budget is key, especially with the inflation that's going on and everything like that. But major cuts like that was actually a very big and bold move by Obama. Like, I gotta kind of like it, but I also don't know where these cuts are going to come. If they came into, somewhere that, I would deem as important or that we would deem as necessary. What's going on? Oh no, your show? Oh, Daffy Duck just fell in the water, guys. Daffy Duck fell in the water. Oh no. Now, well, it says what happened after the 2011 deal was signed. The Joint Committee in 2011 was tasked with finding additional deficit reduction measures to offset a 1.2 trillion increase in the debt ceiling. If members failed in their mission, automatic cuts would slow the growth of expected spending would kick over the next decade. Now it says that the committee did not accomplish its goal, which triggered the spending caps known as sequestration. Sequestration. I actually didn't know that. I didn't know that term. Let's see. Does it have a... Oh, no, we can't go into the whole video, but that's interesting. But it's a series of automatic across-the-board cuts to government agencies totaling 1.2 trillion over 10 years. The cuts will be split 50-50 between defense and domestic discretionary spending. Interesting. Now, now it says we basically unwound this bill little by little. In the end, spending was curtailed by about 1.5 trillion of the total 2.1 trillion agreed in the 2011 deal. So Obama kind of got that done. I mean, if he was trying to cut that, I mean, obviously he's not going to get his full bill in. We know that doesn't necessarily happen often and everything like that. But to be able to get 1.5 trillion out of 2.1 trillion is actually that's quite successful. It says this included 855 billion cuts to discretionary spending over the decade. The reductions affected agencies and programs, including defense, education, justice, and the IRS, Internal Revenue Service, among others. It also slapped a 2% cut in payments to Medicare providers as part of reductions to mandatory spending problems. So, the country definitely felt this, but there's no way to do something like this without the country feeling this, and everything like that, which Joe Biden, I'm sure, is very well aware of in the administration. But, it was good that he wanted this bill to pass. Our debt is outrageous, and he actually did make a positive move to cut it. Now, I could definitely see why that would be deemed as ugly, because think about it. If you work for anybody, if you are a government worker that works for any of this, or let's say even your Medicare, now you need to spend more for your Medicare than, would have been provided to you. That definitely is an issue, but at a certain point, we got to do what it takes to keep our economy going. We got to do what it takes to keep our economy flowing. Now it says fast forward to 2023. One of the major sticking points to ending the debt ceiling impasse was the depth of spending cuts. The Biden administration had balked at returning spending to fiscal 2022 levels, which the Republicans included in their debt ceiling bill earlier this year, the firm held. Now it says in the end, the deal announced that over the weekend calls for non-defense discretionary spending to be pared back for fiscal 2024, but agreed upon appropriation adjustments that will make up nearly all the difference. Non-defense spending would rise just 1% in fiscal 2025. One important distinction between 2011 and today is that the spending caps back then were Plan B, and Warren Payne, a senior advisor at Mayor Brown, who was a senior Republican staffer, Ways and Committee. He said, people were operating under the presumption that spending caps would never actually happen. Now the spending caps are among the GOP's top priorities. So essentially kind of what Obama did back then seems to be affecting Joe Biden heavily now. Now it says even if Congress passes this debt ceiling package, House Republicans may find it difficult to adhere to the caps when it comes time to actually appropriate funding for the federal government's operations later this year. So he's saying even though we may put a cap on spending for a lot of things, even though we may, keep that debt ceiling, as tight as we can, he's saying the Republicans may not kind of be going for it, and they may still push that budget throughout, 2025, and everything like that. So it's not set in stone necessarily, as you could say. Now, they'll say it's reasonable to expect that at the end of the day, we will end up with the same pressures to increase spending. Interesting. So, guys, let me know what you guys think about this. Also, throw a like, comment, subscribe. I'm sorry, this has definitely been a quite interesting video with little Josie, man. He's on the ground. He's living his best life and everything like that. But let me know what you guys think about that. Do you guys think what Obama, the decisions that he made, to kind of cut our spending were good? Do you think they were positive at the time? And if they weren't, definitely let me know why. Because I feel like, obviously, I'm not a politician. It's a very fine line that you can play with furthering the debt ceiling and also having to deal with, the losses that will come by not furthering the debt ceiling. Because at that point, you have your own people angry at you because your own people are working the government jobs. Your own people may not have access to certain facilities, or they may not getting paid as much as they used to. And obviously that's going to make them mad, and that's going to make them go against the president and everything like that. So just let me know what you guys think about that. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to just grab some water real quick, and then we're going to get into the next topic, which is about to be about our boy Prince Henry and Meghan Markle, because there might be some trouble in paradise. But I'll be right back.